Hello, fourth graders. Welcome to Benchmark Fractions. This is a really nice way to be able to use fractions and kind of guess where things are without going through all the math of it. So a benchmark fraction, in simpler terms, is just a fraction that you use to guess the other sizes of the fraction. Okay? Now, this is a fraction that you should look at a number line or look at a hole for our circle models or look at a hole for our bar models and just instantly know how much it is. One that I expect fourth graders to know just instantly that you should know as a benchmark fraction is 1/2. 1/2 is always right in the middle between having 0 and having a whole, okay? Now, this is where equivalent fractions coming into play are very helpful. Because you're not just always going to be asked, you're going to be asked, like, is the number between 1/2 and 1? And to know that, you have to know your equivalent fractions, okay? So in 1/2, all of the equivalent fractions, the top number, the numerator, is always half of the denominator. So I'm going to write some fractions that are equivalent to 1/2. 2/4, 3/6, 4/8. There's a lot of them. There's actually an infinite number of fractions that are equal to 1/2. Okay? The top number is always half of the bottom number. It's really easy for equivalent fractions for that one. So for instance, now that we know that 1/2, 2/4, 3/6, 4/8, 5/10, 6/12, all of those are equivalent fractions. What the book and what I'm going to ask you is, where is 7/8 in comparison to this? Okay? The larger the number on the numerator, the closer to the whole it's going to be. Okay? The numbers are pretty close. So 7/8. In the case of 7/8, it's pretty darn close to 1. Okay? You might not be able to look at 7/8 right away, but you should at least know what side 7/8 is going to be on. Okay? So if my fraction is 4/8, and that's my equivalent fraction, I know that 5, 6, 7, or 8/8 is going to be on this side of the line. Okay? So I expect you to go, 7/8? That's 3 away from 4. That's kind of far. So it's probably not really close to this half. It's probably closer to over here. And with benchmark fractions, it's okay if you're not quite exact, but please use that half mark to really help you out, okay? I'm going to erase, but I'm going to redraw it with our benchmark half again. One over here, 0 over here, benchmark fraction, 1/2, okay? In your head, you should be thinking, what are equivalent fractions? I'm not going to write them down this time because you're not always going to have them to write down, okay? So 1/2. Now, let's take 3/4, okay? I want to find where 3/4 is, where 3 over 4 is, on my number line, okay? This one might be a little tough, but think about this. What fraction is equivalent to 1/2 that has a denominator of 4? Because then it's easy to compare. It's easy to compare the top numbers if the bottom number, the denominator of the whole, is the same. So, if you remember, in 1/2, any equivalent fraction, the top number is half of the bottom number, which means the equivalent fraction to 1/2 is 2 over 4. So now, I should look and at least go, what half or what part of my number line is 3/4 going to be in? Okay? Is 3/4 going to be closer to here, closer to 0, or is 3/4 going to be closer to 1? Well, 3 is larger than 2, which means it has to be closer to 1. It's larger, and it's getting closer to the number that is larger. Okay? So, 3/4. I know where it goes on this line, but then you have to kind of make a guess, okay? Here's how I would do it. 3 is halfway between 2 and 4. It's right smack dab in the middle, which means that my number is right smack dab in the middle of 3/4. See how number lines can help you? I hope this helped the last few days. I'm going to show you a benchmark fraction, but this time I'm going to use one of our circle models. It's still very possible, but let's do it together. Okay, so circle model. This is 0. This colored in all the way is 1. This one in the middle, I'm splitting into 2 parts. I'm coloring half of it. That is 1/2. Okay, I have half of it colored in, exactly in the middle. This one I have a full one. This one I have none. So benchmark fractions and circles kind of follow the same thing as a number line. Let's do it this way. Let's find where 5/6 would be. What would 5/6, I'm going to circle it so we can see it, look like as a benchmark fraction? 5/6. Well, let's look at it this way. 1/2. What is equivalent to 1/2 that ends in 6? If you remember again, all the equivalent fractions to 1/2, the top number of the numerator is half of the bottom number, which means that 1/2 is also equal to 3/6. Okay? Now, we should look and say, are we going to have more filled in our circles or less? The more we have filled into our circles, the closer to 1 whole we're getting. The less we have filled in, the closer to 0 we're getting. Okay? The number 3/6 is this one. We are getting larger. We are getting more pieces with 5/6. Whoops, I did it in fifths. Excuse me there. Gotta do it in 6. There you go. 5/6 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is closer. Hopefully this helps you on benchmark fractions. Let me check for your homework. Please just check Seesaw and email. Remember, sometimes I change the assignments. I want to make sure we have enough days to do this. And make sure that you complete extra math. It's very, very important. Bye, everybody.